Today, I want to talk to you about a short, old, but extremely powerful book. A book that has crossed centuries and continues to be studied today by entrepreneurs, strategists, athletes, and people who want to improve their own mindset. The book is The Book of Five Rings, written by the legendary Japanese samurai Miyamoto Musashi. Musashi lived in 17th century Japan and became known as one of the greatest swordsmen in history. He participated in dozens of duels and, according to historical records, was never defeated. At the end of his life, he decided to write a small treatise explaining the principles of strategy that guided his victories. Although it was written for the art of the sword, the book's content goes far beyond combat. It talks about discipline, strategy, mindset, and how to see reality with clarity. The book is divided into 5 parts, called rings or elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. In the first chapter, called Earth, Musashi explains the foundation of strategy. He compares the warrior's path to the work of a carpenter building a house. Just as the carpenter needs to know every tool and every piece of the structure, the strategist needs to deeply understand their craft. One of the ideas Musashi conveys at the beginning is that there is no true mastery without constant practice. He states that knowing the path of an art requires continuous training. It's not enough to just understand theories. You must practice until the knowledge becomes a natural part of your actions. This applies perfectly to modern life. Many people spend too much time consuming content, but practice very little. Musashi reminds us that true learning comes from repetition and direct experience. In the second chapter, called Water, Musashi talks about the correct mindset. He explains that the mind must be flexible and adaptable, just like water that changes shape depending on its container. In a famous passage, he says the mind should be neither narrow nor excessively open. In other words, we shouldn't be too rigid, but we also can't be confused or indecisive. A balanced mind allows for reacting correctly to situations. This means maintaining calm, even in moments of pressure. In modern life, the same logic applies to moments of decision, professional challenges, or personal conflicts. Musashi believed that confidence and inner clarity directly influence the outcome of actions. In the third chapter, called Fire, the author talks about combat and active strategy. Musashi highlights that understanding the rhythm of a situation is essential. He believed that every activity has its own rhythm. Whoever can perceive this rhythm can act at the right moment. At work, for example, there are moments to attack opportunities and moments to observe and prepare. Musashi also talks about dominating the opponent even before the direct confrontation. He believed that many battles are won mentally before they happen physically. When you prepare well and understand the scenario, many difficulties become much smaller. In the fourth chapter, called Wind, Musashi analyzes the styles of other sword schools. He observes that many warriors stuck to specific techniques without truly understanding the essence of strategy. Here, an important lesson appears. Do not blindly copy the methods of others. Each person needs to develop their own understanding. In a world full of gurus and ready-made formulas, it's easy to fall into the trap of imitating success without understanding the context. True mastery arises when you learn the principles and adapt them to your own path. Finally, we come to the last chapter, called Void. This is perhaps the most philosophical concept in the book. It represents a state of deep understanding where the mind is free from confusion and distraction. He explains that when someone completely masters an art, their actions cease to be forced. They flow naturally. This state resembles what we today call the state of flow. It's when everything seems to happen naturally. Musashi believed that reaching this level requires years of discipline, practice, and reflection. Musashi wasn't just teaching how to fight with swords. He was teaching how to live with clarity, discipline, and purpose. Perhaps the book's most powerful message is that excellence does not happen by chance. It is built with daily practice. If you liked these ideas and want to know more, leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next video.